All right, everyone. So we today's video we want to talk about the Zoho Dex and how best this system works in terms of what you can achieve with it. So currently what you're seeing now on my screen, this is the pricing page. So this gives us an idea of what are the plans that are available and which plan is the right one for you to start with. So as you can see, the Zoho Dex is actually per user per module. Okay, please hold on. Okay, so the Zoho Dex system is per user per module. As you can see, this is the price for the Express, meaning you're using one user, which is 5,390. So you multiply this by 12, then multiply that with the total number of users you want to onboard on the system. So yeah, so these are the plan differences. As you can see, the Express plan comes with all these basic features, meaning you can get your support channel via email. And this is for the other plan. So yeah, so just take your time. This is the link to go through the plan. So moving directly into the system. So first glance, this is how the system looks. So the idea of this video is not just to just show you a tutorial, like show you what the Future system can do, but I want to run you through like a practical way of how the system can work in a real scenario. So that's the idea of this particular demo. So as you can see, this once you sign into the system, there are two major users across all Zoho systems, right? We have the admin users and we have the standard users. So admin users are the users that get to manage everything around the business and also manage other users. So that's the role of an admin user. While the normal standard user, they are just users in the system. They only see records that are related to them. They don't see every other thing in the system. So that's the difference between the admin and the standard user. So the reason I had to explain this, because if you notice on this top section of the screen here, this is a dashboard actually where we see everything around the ticket and the response that has been generated in our system. So if you notice on this section here, all agent is already toggled on. So what this means is that I am currently viewing the dashboard for all agents. That's all the tickets for all agents. This dashboard here helps me to be able to see that. Now, if you notice on this system, based on this is a demo, you can see we only have two users on the system. So if you notice right here, looking at the system, you can see online agent, we have two. So these are the agents. So for your own organization, you're going to have all those agents listed here. The moment they are offline, you're going to see that here. The reason why they are online, it means currently they are signed in on the Zoho platform, right? So they are online, they are signing on the Dex. Offline, they won't be here. Most threaded ticket, right? Threaded means the ticket that has the longest conversation, like how long conversations a thread happened on that ticket. So negative ratings, you get to see that report here. So what we are looking at currently, this is a dashboard that shows us everything that is happening in our system, in our organization. Unassigned tickets that are yet to be assigned, you get to see that number here. Unassigned but on hold, you get to see it here. Unassigned but open, you get to see it here. Due in 1 hour, so you get to see that here. Customer happiness rating, you get to see that. So this populates when you close a ticket. It's just a settings once, because as Zoho partners, Techcom, we work with organizations to set up their system best tailored for their own workflow. So for some companies, they want a situation. Most companies do this, right? Once a ticket is closed or once they are done responding to a client, they close the ticket from their end. The system gives the client a feedback rating. So once the client they rate, this is how the system captures these ratings over time. Okay, so live traffic, this is also you get to see incoming and outgoing. That's the traffic of the requests coming in or the complaints coming in, the tickets that are coming in, and the ones your team are sending. That's more of like inbound and outbound. So you get to see your total response trends. You get to see it based on time frame, and this populates based on how you would want to filter all channels, right? You want to filter across all channels, means your phone, your X, your email, Facebook, all this medium at which you generate tickets. This is the report for it. Or if you want to go at the last 24 hours, you get to see that here for today. You understand? So you can make your filter based on this. So what we are able to cover so far now, this is just the dashboard of the system, the dashboard of the Zoho Desk, and how you can best understand how to use this. So this is the first side, first area I want you to understand. Then moving on, the next thing we need to touch on is when it comes to the next thing we need to touch on is this is the dashboard and how it works. So moving on, for us to utilize the system properly, right? So before we move forward, let me show you something. So under the settings here, right? So what we currently have here is, okay, settings. We look at channels. Channels is the section whereby we get to configure how our customers can contact us, can reach out to us via ticket. So by default, the Zoho Desk comes with an email support here, right? This is the reason why you're getting this is because if you look at this now, this is a long email support address, right? Which is support at this my domain at zohodesk.com. The reason why this is happening is because we've not connected our own domain. So the first thing, you need to connect your domain here, right? Put your new support email, add it here, validate the email, connect it, right? So that once you're done with it, you can now use a particular dedicated email, which could be your info@yourdomain.com or support@yourdomain.com. So that's the first thing we need to set up. And this covers, because we go back to the Zoho Desk pricing, even if you want to start with the lowest, which is Express, at least it helps you to be able to achieve this first, because the plan comes with it, with email. So you set up your email, and once you set up your email, you're going to have that unique email that will be the major email clients can send their tickets. Now, for this test, we're going to use this email right here. So let's copy this email. Okay. All right. So now let's say practical scenario, a client wants to send us a mail, a ticket. So let's go back to the home page, right? So I wanted to make you see that section here. Now, this is the first place we touched on, which is the HQ, your dashboard. The second module here is the Teams field. Teams field is a collaborative space whereby you can communicate internally with your team members, right? It's like a place where you can share your thoughts, share your ideas, and also tag a team member on your thoughts or on a particular feedback. So that's how it works. It's pretty straightforward. You can just write what you want to do. See, hello team. This week, let's ensure we respond to tickets on time, right? Now, if you want to, let's say you want to just to tag someone on it, you can just say, okay, at customer support, kindly take notes. Okay, kindly take notes. All right. So you see at this section here, we can send this as a post, right? Share this as a post, or you can toggle send as a direct message. Right. So the idea of this is that if you do a direct message, it means that customer support will get this. But if you want to do this in the right way, you just click a share as a post. So once you make this comment here, everyone on your team gets to see this particular details, right? And they can also come back and do their own comments or respond to this. So that's the idea of the feed section here, where you can have a collaborative communication with team members, and you can see feeds on tickets, right? So you can make a request, right, and also tag the same person. So that's just the idea: feed on tickets and team feed post, right? So this section is more of like teams can communicate. Now, if you notice what happened here, this particular post I made, right, it is because I tagged a team. If you notice, if you come to team feed post, that post, this is the post I made just now because I tagged a team. So that's why you notice it is the native place for it to stay. It's on the team feed post because this is related to a team. So feeds, open ticket, these are like your normal one-on-one communication and other communication that are not basically dedicated to as a team. So that's how you can get this, or you just go to all field. All field just gives you just brings everything together. So we won't waste much time on the team field because it's pretty straightforward. Now the next place we need to look at is the views itself. So this is the particular module that handles incoming tickets. It's like the dashboard where you get to see tickets that have not been resolved. All those tickets will be here. But once a ticket has been resolved, that ticket lives here. Now, if you notice, these are all the tickets so far on this system. And all of them, if you notice, they're all open at this section here. So we're going to add new ticket request. Now, if you notice, this is the last ticket at the top here, which is Zoho CRM, Zoho One, and all that. So this is the ticket here. So now let's send a test email. Okay, so let me just use AI route to okay, so why this draft something for us? So the first thing, now we want to add the email. Now, this is our support email, so they get it. But once you've connected this, you will have your own dedicated domain. So now let's just send this request for, okay. So this is the body of the mail. Okay. All right, so let's move forward. So I want to make this very interactive so you get the hang of it. Okay. So now this is the email. This is your client sending this to you. And now they send this email. So this is the first one we want to draft, right? The idea is for that ticket to come here. And if you notice, let's just stay on the screen. We are not refreshing this page, right? So you see how the thing drops in real time. So as you can see, one new email. This is the request. It just dropped. So at this point, right, we get to see request for resolution of service issue. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to send from another email. Okay. Let's still move forward. Let me just send another one. I'm still using this. Although I wanted to use the other one, but it's obvious it's not loading up on time. So let's send. This is the second request. So okay. Okay, you get the idea, right? Because now I notice the email I sent earlier, it's no longer there. So let me get this. This is the ticket email. Okay. It's pretty long. So this is a request. Okay, so let's send this as well. So let's quickly go back to our decks. Now we don't need this anymore. So let's see. I'm not refreshing the page. I didn't refresh it. So just watch. This is the first one that came in. So the second one is in now. So we have two tickets, and based on the system, there are different SLAs you can set. But for this example, this particular demo, we added a 30 minutes first response SLA on the system. What this means is that the moment this email drops in on the system starts doing a countdown, a 30 minutes countdown, which is the first level of escalation, meaning that for the first 30 minutes this ticket comes in, an agent must respond to this ticket, right? An agent must respond to the ticket and kick it started. So that's the idea of the SLA. Now that's the first level. We also added another one that the agent has 24 hours to resolve the ticket. Resolve ticket means this ticket must be closed, right? So what I'm just explaining now, these are SLA controls most organizations can add on their system to ensure that agents, team members are on their best, like they are always on ticket. So now if you notice this thing keeps counting down, now is at 28 minutes from when we sent it. The first one was 27. So this will keep counting down to once it gets to zero, it's going to trigger it triggers an escalation to the top admins, informing them and also copying the person, the responsible agent. Now, Let's move forward. The next thing now, we are still on the view mode here, right? So now this is the interface where you would work with most of the time. So we're just going to go through everything here in detail. Now, if you notice the first thing here, you can filter, right? You can filter based on tickets, but it is best to always leave it at open tickets because every other thing here you can track them later. But for this open ticket, this should always be on the open ticket. So you know that this particular view is dedicated for you to see tickets that are open and see them once they come in. Right. So the next thing you have here is a filter, which I just explained. Now you can always come back here. These are different ways you can view your dashboard. So we have the classic. Let's see how the compact looks. So this is a compact. We have the table view, right? So these are all the ways you can see. So let's leave it back to the classic, which is the most recent dashboard. So this is for the view. Now we click on option here. So this is how you can sort. You can sort it at recent thread, due date, modified date, and the rest, right? Show latest first. We are currently fixed on this. That's why the latest thread, the newest one that comes in, it stays at the top. So all these are okay. So we've been able to cover these features at the top. Now let us focus on each of the tickets. Now, if you know, let's select this particular ticket, right? If you toggle on the ticket here, you can quickly assign it to a preferred agent. And this is the role of an admin, right? An admin gets to do this. And this is the manual way of assigning this ticket. System also gives you a feature which is called like the round robin rule, although this might not be available for each of the pricing, right? Some of this pricing would not be able to will not be able to give you that result, especially express. You might need to direct assignment, right? So automatically assign tickets to specific agent based on the rules criteria as you set. Okay, so you can also do that on the plan as well. So what means that you once the ticket comes in, system can assign this ticket automatically based on the rules you will set, which is more of like the customization features where we come in and we can help you set that up. So this is how you can look at it. But let's take this out. So now we've selected this is a particular ticket. Now, if you look at this section here, we have a ticket pick, right? We also have mark as read. We have edit and we have a delete option here. Now, if we don't use this particular feature you're seeing, ticket pick is very, very important. It makes your user experience on the system very plain. Now, notice this countdown is still ongoing here, 25 minutes, right? So, like I explained. So let's say we want to attend to this ticket now. You click on the ticket. You see what happens now. The moment you click on the ticket, the system leaves the original interface and brings you to this new interface, which everything looks clustered, right? It's also okay, but if you notice, this is the one you clicked on. Now, all those other tickets, they are still at the top, which is the next ticket, the other tickets. These are all the tickets right now here. You just get to select. Let's say this is the one we selected earlier. Request for this one we selected here. Urgent complaint request for immediate. Because as you can see, that's the same thing here. That's one we selected right now. So if we come to the next one, we select this. The system navigates and changes to the new one. But this is the another best way you can go around. So let's go back. So you see how it looks like when you use your normal direct clicking here. Now, this is where the ticket pick comes in. Now, if you click on ticket pick, see what happens. The system maintains your original interface, which makes your system clean. And it now gives you this hover effect on each of these. So you can quickly go on the go. Now, if you select this, it's easier and the user experience is better. So that's where the ticket pick comes in. This ticket pick is very subtle here, but it's very, very important. You see, the ticket pick helps you to ensure that you have a simplified view of your maintaining this section here, this column, and moving on the go. So now let's resolve this ticket. So this urgent complaint request for immediate ticket, we've gotten this, right? So this is the particular user for this. So this is the email we sent it from. Right, so this email we sent it from contact information. So you see the key information, ticket owner. Now you need to assign it to a particular agent. Now let's assign it to promise. Okay, so the next thing now, if you go all the way down, under the open status, right? This ticket is currently open. Open means you've not resolved it. So when you're done resolving this issue, this particular ticket, this is where you can close it. So open, once a ticket is assigned to you, it's already fixed as open. Once you resolve it, you click on close. If it is something let's say the ticket is on hold, you select on hold. If you've escalated it to another person that needs to resolve it, so that's where the status works. But the end game for this is to close the ticket at the end of the day. So now, if you notice, based on the SLA I made mention we've already set on the system. Now, the due date for this ticket to be closed is tomorrow at the set time we receive that ticket. So once we get to this time and this ticket has not been resolved, what happens is that the system will trigger. Once this happens, the system will trigger an escalation to the top admin, notifying that the set agent has not resolved that issue. So all this you're seeing here, this is under ticket property here. So if you come to suggested knowledge base, as you can see here, is also the same option here. That was why I didn't want to explain everything. I wanted to explain it as we move into the system. So knowledge base, as you can see here, which is the same thing here. This simply means for those FAQs, frequently asked questions, the answers to those questions, so that your agent don't need to respond to those same issues over and over and over again. So that's where the knowledge base comes. You put the solutions to those questions on the knowledge base. So what happens is that at any point, let's say this particular request we are trying to fix, which is the urgent complaint request for immediate action, right? This particular ticket, this is the knowledge, this is the answer, this is how to get it done. All your agent needs to do, just needs to come to this section, paste. So once they click on paste, this whole answer will be added to this ticket. And once you're done with this, you can just click on send, right? Send this to the client on about this same ticket. Now, this is the knowledge base. So before we resolve this, let's explain the other one. So we have comment. Comment gives you the feature to comment on a particular ticket. You can comment private and you can comment public. Mind you, your clients don't see this. They won't see this. This is just for in-house communication around the ticket. For instance, let me not explain too further on this. What this simply means, if you want to also tag a team member to either comment or give a feedback on this ticket before you respond to this. So this is the option you can use, comment. You can also attach information while you add your comments. And once you're done with this, you can either select public, means all the team members will get to see this. It's more of like when you go to the feed, right? That comment comes as a general feed. Everybody gets to see. But if you use public, only the person you're tagged here, we get to see it. Now that's for comment. Now we have the timeline. Okay, so based on what we can see on the timeline here, this just gives us a holistic view of what we currently have today and the activities that have been done on it. Now the next one you're looking at, this is followers. Okay, at this point here, most of all these are not necessarily mandatory. Okay, now if you have the CRM, this is more of you integrating it with the CRM. So the idea of this is that, so once someone sends a request, with this you can easily connect this particular person. If the person is existing in your CRM, you can easily notice here, or this person is connected to our CRM, meaning we have the same contact on our CRM. So that's the future of this. Now you need to confirm from your plan. Okay, so at the end of the day, right, most of these features, it depends on the plan you sign up on. So we don't take much time. So that's how this works. So this is the module of the ticket. So the first is the tickets properties. You have the knowledge base, which I just explained. So knowledge base this is how to utilize it. Why this knowledge base here is how to add your own knowledge base, because we might not explain too much on this. This is where you fix in your knowledge base. So once you fix it here, this is where you can deploy it on tickets in real time. So we have the comments, you have the timeline, you have the followers and the skills itself. So moving on, now we've been able to trash the section. So under the urgent complaint request, this is the ticket we are still working on. Now, if you notice the countdown on this ticket is still on, we have 18 minutes right now, as you can see here, 18 minutes. So moving on now. So this is the response we've already added on this ticket. If you want to attach any image, you can attach, still using the system here. Insert image, you can attach any other thing. So the other options we're seeing here, we have the conversation. Conversation is like the total number of conversations that's happening on that ticket. Now we have the resolution. Okay, so resolution, this is also a way of you adding the feedback, right? Or adding the solution of this particular ticket here. And you can also comment this for internal use and also for when you want to reach out to the entire team. So time entry is more of like this works mainly if you want to track the workable time or how long does it take to respond to a ticket. So it means time entry, it simply means add a time entry to tax you to track your time spent on this ticket. So now if you notice on this first ticket here, this conversation, at the point we use the knowledge base, if you want to make use of time entry, we just go into the time entry, add time entry, right? So this is a ticket. Okay, so at the duration time, you add this. So it means you must add a start time and an end time, which shows how long you spent using this ticket. And you can use it either when billing, when this works for some companies whereby they have outsourced agents, right, or virtual assistants. So this is the best way you can use this. They should also track how long they spend on each ticket. This helps you to be able to ascertain the billable man-hour time for them, right? So that's the best scenario why this was added in the system. So we're not going to go through that route, but that's, you just know it's also available. So the next thing we just need to do, we've been able to explain these key things here. Okay, now when you get a ticket, this is the first option. Just like your email, you click on reply all or you reply only, right? I believe we all understand how reply all and reply only means. This means you reply all, it copies everyone so it doesn't really leave any of the thread that has already happened on that email. This works best for scenarios whereby as this ticket they've sent it now. When you click on reply all, the reply all covers all the tickets, all the emails, all the thread that has happened on that same email. So that's reply all. Why the reply only works on the particular response you just want to reply, right? Forward is when you want to forward this out to let's say an external person or any other person you want to forward it. So comment is when you can add comments. You understand, like what we said here, when you can add your comments, right? So this is, you add your comments, either send it as a private comment or a public comment. Private comment means you're sending this to the particular person and they get to see it. And this is only for team use only, right? Your customers won't see it. The only place your customer gets to see once you've added your conversation. So now let's respond to this, right? Now we can just click on, let's send this ticket. Okay. Okay, so now let's respond to this. Let's use the knowledge base we used earlier. So this is the response, paste it on the ticket. Right, so now let's send this. So on the send section here, if you notice there's an icon here, let's click on that. So there's a schedule send on the system, meaning you get to schedule this email later, right? Let's say you want to schedule it for later. Yeah, this is clear. This is pretty clear. So that's for the schedule later. But we're just going to click on send right now. So as the agent, we've responded to this client, right? Responded to them based on their request or what they said. So now we've been able to do that. So we had to take more time here because the thing is that for users, this is where you spend more time here. So you need to understand how this works. So if you get this section here, you are already good to use the system, right? Now let us go all the way back. Let me cancel this. Now look at this ticket we just sent this request to our clients. We responded to them. Now notice what happened. The countdown has stopped. Now, as you can see, tomorrow, 10:28, 27, 10:27 a.m., that is when we have the next SLA deadline we have for this ticket to be resolved. Now we've been able to respond to clients. So let me go back as a client, right? Okay, so this is the urgent complaint request. As a client, I get to see what they said. Okay. All right, so this is it. So the client can also come back here and click on reply to come to let's say to say something else or ask us any other further question. So that's for this. So now let's go back. Now the next thing to finalize this, we've been able to resolve this client issue. Now the next thing, let us come back and close this ticket. We've been able to resolve this ticket. So let's click on close ticket, right? So still on the first ticket. So this ticket has been closed, right? The status this is closed. Now if you notice, let us go back. That particular ticket we just resolved, it's no longer here, right? It lives here. So that's the idea why we made mention that earlier, leave this as the open ticket. This is the default. This is already set as default because Zoho understands that you need to have a particular dedicated view, right? Where you can control to see what is already hanging, what you need to resolve. Now, as an agent, I understood that I can clearly say that so far these are all the tickets that I need to resolve, and all these tickets are all open. The ones I've been able to resolve, they will leave the system. Now, this particular ticket we've been able to resolve. So let's go back to our client interface. Now, if you notice, I made mention of something earlier. So under this section here, where we have your customer ratings. So based on we've already set the system, right? So at the point we close the ticket, now what happens? We get to rate our clients here on this section here. So we click on good. Okay. So the reason why you're seeing this is because I am signed in on an account which is already active. So what we can do right now, let me copy this link, right? And let me try on an incognito tab. Okay, so now you can rate service. So now let's submit this. All right, so we've been able to rate this client, right? So now let's go back to our main tab. Let's just cancel this. All right, so that's how your client gets to rate you. Now, if you notice, based on that rating, if you notice, we have 100% good so far here. So now as you populate on the system keeps updating this data in real time. Now we have 2 incoming responses, 1 outgoing responses so far. So this is incoming 2, outgoing 1. Now you see total unassigned 1. You see the system also populates in real time. And as you keep using it, this dashboard keeps populating for the admin. So we've been able to discuss the team field. I've also been able to explain the views and how this interface works, right? So I had to take time on one ticket so you would understand how this works clearly. Okay, so now if you notice this particular section here, okay, so we've been able to explain this. Now let's go to agent queue. Okay, so now we are currently on agent queue. So the idea of this is pretty straightforward, right? This is more of like look at it as something that puts in like it puts urgency in our team. So now for each agent, right, if they sign in on their user account, we said we have user and admin. So each user gets to see only what's related to them, only their record. So under the overdue, right, it means for this particular agent, these are all the tickets that are overdue. He needs to work on this. So this helps to give agents a clear sense of priority on tickets they should respond to and tickets they should hold on, and that is not really a priority. That's why it's called agent queue. So you get to see your overdue. The ones that are due in 1 hour, you get to see them here. The ones that are due in 6 hours, you see it. The ones that are not due and all that, You get to see it. And currently, this looks like a Kanban view, but on the system, if you come here, you notice that this is a countdown mode. A countdown mode, this is the interface. So you can select your preferred one. So we have the status mode. Let's look at this dashboard. So status mode shows you the tickets that are open, on hold, escalated, other status. So the idea of this is that the ones that are open, these are the ones you need to resolve, right? On open, on hold. It's just more of like a clean segmentation on how you see all your data. Now we've already checked. Let's check the handshake mode, which looks like a direct integration with Zoho CRM, right? Right. So yes, this is a direct integration with Zoho CRM. So it gives you your communication. Now the contacts or leads, right? These are some of the tickets, because these contacts here, we have a record of them in our CRM, right? This handshake mode is mainly directly integrated with Zoho CRM, whereby the tickets of contacts in your CRM, they get to populate here also in terms of priority. So these are the new contacts. These are what we currently have with them and the customer. So that's for the handshake mode. Now we have the priority mode as well. These are strictly mainly on when it comes to the decks, no integration with CRM. So that's for the. Now we go back to the countdown mode. This is the default one. It's also best because you get to see things real and it gives you a sense of priority, because this due in 1 hour is pretty clear, because how this populates is based on the SLA agreement, the SLA rules, right? So once the countdown has already started, now if there's only 1 hour left, that's how the system can prompt this and let you know that this is due in 1 hour. So that's for the agent queue. The same thing applies to the team queue. It's still the same thing, right? But the idea of this is that the same way we have the countdown per agent, this is the countdown per team. Now we can't see any ticket here because so far it's obvious we don't have any ticket for an agent. So let's go back for the team, actually, not agent. So let's go back to our ticket, right? Now let's assign a particular ticket. Okay, let's assign this ticket. So a team this time, customer support. Okay, so we've assigned this. So now let's check here. So you notice now we now have due in 1 hour. That is because, like I explained, this countdown is already ongoing, and this countdown is a 30 minutes countdown, but right now it's at 4 minutes. So that's why it's seen due in 1 hour. So overall, all the whole work mode, the countdown mode works best, especially when you have SLA agreement on your system. So it gives you a clean one. So as an agent, all you need to do, these are the key functional place you need to spend much time as a user, not the admin. The view, where you get to see tickets as they come in that has been assigned to you. Agent queue, you get to see your tickets based on sense of priority. And team queue, that's if you're an agent and you're also functioning in a team, right? Because you can be an agent, meaning you're a single user, and you are a team also in the system, right? A team means a combination of 2-3 other persons making a team. So that's the team queue. It's pretty straightforward. Now we have the tags. The tags is a means of how you can segment ticket issues. So the best way I can drive this home is to use a banking system, their workflow, right? You know, for banks, there are so many issues that they handle, from business related issues to failed payment to what's it called, to bank opening issues, to card opening issue. So that's where tag comes in. As we have so many tickets here, all these tickets can be categorized based on the tags that they are related to. So if I go back to the tags, let's see how many tags we have here. We have payment failure, app issues, card resolving, failed. Okay, all these tags are okay. Then you can select all tags here, right? So you see card. So what we need to do, let's go back to our ticket. So let's tag each of these tickets. Okay. So to tag the ticket, we don't get that simplified option here. So you click into the ticket, or you can use your ticket pick, which is also preferred, right? So let's ticket pick, so we get a full overview. Now, once you're on the section, you see the tag section here, which is Shift plus T. If you're on your own Mac, just go to this section, you will get your own key. So, right, so you just use Shift T. Now let's tag it as payment failure. Let's tag this other one, the same thing. Shift T, right? Let's tag it as payment failure too. Let's go to this. Let's tag this as failed alert. This as well, let's tag it as. Okay, untick this. Let's tag this as. Okay, let's tag fade alert too. Fade alert. All right, so now let's go back to our tag. Now we have payment failure. These are all the tickets there. Now we use fade alert, right? So we see fade alert. So that's the idea of tags. And like we also explained, there are different modes at which you can see. So if you want to use the handshake mode, just understand that once you use this, it is not only showing ticket on your Zoho Desk. It's also showing customer details that they have ticket from the CRM, because it's going to also pull record from CRM, right? So that's how this works. So that's the view for this. Now, the last, we have your scheduled reply. So all those scheduled reply you've been able to schedule while you are on the ticket, they will populate here, right? Ideally, you cannot schedule to add a scheduled ticket here, but when you add a scheduled reply on your ticket itself, as like what I'm about to do now. So let's click on this. We want to reply to this comment. Okay, so now let's go into this. If you notice, I didn't use the pick mode. I just used the normal way. So let's click on reply all. When we want to send, we come to schedule reply. Schedule this for, let's say, 12 hours. Schedule and reply. Okay, so now let's go back to our schedule reply. So it starts populating. So the idea of this is that you schedule them. So they gave all this module, so we can always come back to our system and then we can look at this. Let's say later we want to just send this immediately. We don't want it to wait at that time. We can just click on send reply or reschedule. So that's the function, but you cannot add a new schedule reply. You have to add it on the ticket itself. So right, so far, if you've been following all through this to this point, you would understand a comprehensive way of how to use the system as a user, which is a standard user, or as an admin. This gives you a plain explanation on how best to do it. So now we've been able to tackle some of this. These are the major place you need to get. So we're just going to touch on some of this, which are not 100% paramount. So the ticket, this is all what you're seeing. You remember I explained in the knowledge base, right? Knowledge base section here. So the knowledge base, this is where you can impute those feedbacks, those answers, those FAQs. You can impute them right on the system here. And once you're done with that, it populates on the ticket option for you to use. You have your contracts, right? You also have your tickets, all the contracts you have with a particular client in terms of the services you agree to provide to them. They will be listed here as well. You have your customers, right? So all your customers, you get to see them here. You have your analytics. So analytics is more of like a graphical representation. I know you have under the ticket section here, we have the HQ, which is a dashboard. We also have analytics, which is more robust, right? And like I explained, right, for the admin users, they get to see all this in real time across all team members. But as a team user, you just need to see only your own record. So for all this, you can see the open ticket in total, right? So once you click on it, it takes you to the open ticket. So this is mainly functional for admins, and it gives you I always call it like a God mode view, right? You can easily see what's happening. Now you see all the overdue ticket 15, open tickets. These tickets are open. So it means we have open ticket of 16, 15 overdue. So it means it's only one we've been able to resolve to some extent. Now you have the due today, unassigned that are due in 1 hour, unassigned tickets. You get to see them here. So this also gives us a new ticket today. The reason why we are seeing all this report, remember, two new tickets today. This is giving us this information because if you notice here, we have last 24 hours, right? So let's say yesterday, see what happens. There is nothing here. So just have that in mind. So let's go back to last 24 hours. Okay. So now this is our ticket count so far. This is when that ticket came in. As of this time, notice there's a spike, right? That's a ticket progression. So now traffic analysis, 2 tickets. The source, they came from emails. If you have other means connected, that will also populate. Average handling time, first response time, you see the agent responded to this around 15 seconds to the time. Response time, 15 seconds. Resolution time. Okay. Now the other one you're looking at, okay, you can also make modification based on how you want to see this. So happiness rating, you can see for this particular ticket, right, which is total of 100 good so far. And these are ways you can view that data. All right, so that's for the analytics. And this analytics you can also filter. Right? Well, currently we are on the overview dashboard. Now these are all the parameters. You can select ticket status dashboard. What happens? The system gives you only report around ticket status dashboard. Although I might not have to go through all of them, well, you get the idea. Now, if you look at this is ticket status dashboard, we have the SLA dashboard, right? Right. This shows us the response time of our ticket based on our SLA rule we've already arranged and set in the system. So let's try to interpret this. So SLA violated tickets, we have 1. SLA violations 1, average residual time so far. So the average amount of time left to fulfill the SLA target after achieving it. All right. So this area just helps you to understand the SLAs you've sent so far. So violations by, okay, you see 3, violated 1, achieved 2, right? So all your team members also will be listed here as well. So that's for this. So there are different parameters here. You can use any of them. So we won't be spending much time. So let's move to the next one, which is the activities module. Okay. So the idea of this is for you to add a task on the system. The same way you have tags on Zoho CRM, you can also add tags here. Let's say we want to add a task. Subject tags. Call customer. So the idea of this ticket, if we already have an existing ticket in the system, you can do a lookup, right? And tag that ticket on the system here. You get the idea, right? Now you select a due date. This has to be done today. Set. Select who you want to assign these tags to. You assign the person here. Customer, that's a contact name, right? You can also look up, you have different contacts here. Status, you can also do the same. Priority, set reminder, and the rest you can just admit. So this is how you set tags, although I'm not going to set one here. Okay, then we have the community section here. As it implies community, right? This is where your own community, where you can collaborate with other team members as well. And the other sections here, we have the socials, chats, and IM. That's instant messaging. So your chat, right? This works well if you want to integrate with Zoho Analytics. No, this works well if you want to integrate with Zoho Sales IQ. Sales IQ is the live chatbot you can add on your website to engage clients and also collect lead from them. So once you have that integrated, the chat you have so far on that, you can see those chats here. So that's the idea of the instant messaging, right? So we have the social. Social is where you can also, once you connected some of your social handles, you can see your post right here. You can make posts from the system as well. Also, this also depends on the plan you are signed on. Well, most people using the expression might not be able to get all these features. But this is just a comprehensive explanation of how all the system functions, right? So that's so far we've been able to cover every nook and cranny of the system so that we all understand how to utilize it, because the idea for us at Techcom is show you how to use the system in real time, not just to show you the features and functions. So I believe this has been so helpful. And remember, if you need more information, just reach out to us on the contact below the video. All right. Thank you.